Today's meditation, let us read from Deuteronomy chapter 33, verses 26 to 29. There is none like God, O Jeshurun, who rides through the heavens to your help, through the skies in his majesty. The eternal God is your dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he thrust out the enemy before you and said, destroy. So Israel lived in safety. Jacob lived alone in a land of grain and wine, whose heavens dropped down dew. Happy are you, O Israel, who is like you, a people saved by the Lord, the shield of your help, and the sword of your triumph. Your enemies shall come fawning to you, and you shall tread upon their backs. Moses ends his blessings of the tribes of Israel. At the start, he magnified God as the king of Jeshurun. Jacob, in Isaiah 44:2, we read, do not be afraid, Jacob, my servant, Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. Jeshurun means the upright one or the blessed one. Israel is called Jeshurun because of God's mercy and forgiveness. Isaiah begins with condemnation of Israel's sin, calling the people a sinful nation whose guilt is great and a brood of evildoers given to corruption. Isaiah 1 verse 4. The children of Israel forsook the Lord. They have spurned the Holy One of Israel and turned their backs on him. Yet, God still lovingly calls them Jeshurun, the beloved one, and the upright one. Jeshurun is God's grace on display. Moses reminds them that there is none like the God of Jeshurun. This is often emphasized in Psalms and the prophetic books. Psalms 88 verse 8, there is none like you among the gods, O Lord, nor are there any works like yours. All the nations you have made shall come and worship before you, O Lord, and shall glorify your name. For you are great and do wondrous things. You alone are God. Jeremiah 10 verse 6. There is none like you, O Lord. You are great and your name is great in might. In her thanksgiving prayer, Hannah says in 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 2, there is none holy like the Lord. For there is none beside you. There is no rock like our God. When children of Israel pass through different trials and experiences, they recognize the power, the holiness, the kindness of God who stoops to lift them out of the pit. They rejoice and give the testimony of the uniqueness of their God. In this case, the God of Jeshurun is shown as a deliverer who comes through the skies to deliver them. He comes in the clouds in his majesty, which may refers to his arrival as a king. This could be a prophecy of the arrival of their Messiah as King of Kings and Lord of Lords in the clouds to rescue the nation Israel from their enemies. Daniel talks about the coming in the clouds of heaven who destroy the beast and establish the kingdom forever and ever. Not only is God unique in himself and the protector of Israel, but he is also their dwelling place. God loves to dwell among his people, as he showed by asking them to make a tabernacle where his glory may rest. Through the wilderness, he led them to the land flowing with milk and honey so that they may find rest. But even as they enter into this beautiful land, Moses reminds them that their real dwelling place is God. It is in him that they may find their rest and peace. God again revealed this through Jesus, who said, come unto me, all those who labor and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. In Psalm 90, Moses begins his prayer with these words, Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, or even you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. The Bible uses the arm of the Lord as a metaphor to denote his strength and power. Isaiah 53:1, who has believed what he has heard from us, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? Isaiah 59:1 says, behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, or his ear dull, that it cannot. Here we read, underneath are the everlasting arms. Even when all other help ceases, and if they appear to be in free fall, underneath are the everlasting arms. In the previous chapter, Moses uses the imagery of an eagle stirring up its nest so that its older eaglets may learn to fly. At first, the eaglet appears to be falling to his destruction, but the eagle always spreads his wings beneath them to protect them. In the same way, God allowed them to fall many a time in the process of teaching them to walk with him by faith. But they are always assured of his protecting arm beneath. Israel's safety and prosperity is because of God's everlasting arms beneath them. Modern Israel glories in their smartness and military might rather than God's grace. He says in verse 28, so Israel lived in safety. Jacob lived alone in a land of grain and wine, whose heavens drop down dew. And because there is none like God, Israel, whom God has chosen to set his love upon, is also unique among the world's numerous people. They are unique because their God is their sword and their shield. Verse 29, happy are you, O Israel. Who is like you, a people saved by the Lord, the shield of your help and the sword of your triumph? Here is our source of safety and security, our eternal fountain of love and worth. He is all that makes our life worth living. The God of Jeshurun is our God. As he declared Abraham his friend, justifying him by faith, so does he give us his own name. He has made us blessed and a blessing. He calls us his beloved people, a holy nation. He has made us upright, righteous through faith. He is our creator. There is none like him. He is our defender. He defends us against the fiery arrows of our adversaries, especially the adversary, the devil. And he gives us victory in our fight to destroy the forces of evil that constantly threaten our life with God. Let us give him the glory due to his name. Let us not compare him with other gods, whether our name or our reputation, our prestige, our wealth, or our work. Let us be at home in his love. Here is our rest and peace in submitting to him and him alone. He is our identity. We are special because we are his people, the sheep of his pasture. God bless.